Story 1. How magical everything seemed. Discovering and experiencing the joys of life for the very first time. The warm sand and cold water. Fresh tangy fruit. Touching a boy. Reading a new favorite book. Thinking anything was possible. Story 2. My body didn't hurt. Sneeze. Neck pain. Swallow water too hard. I'm going to die. Sitting in my chair. My legs are numb and my hips feel sore. I am only 36. Why does it all hurt? Story 3. I used to be certain about things. Everything I would need to do, I knew everything and was confident. Now there is so much doubt and possibility for failure. Story 4. The sense of possibility. There is a point in your life when you realize that a lot of what you might wish to achieve in your life is just not going to happen. Plus the passage of time. I remember when months lasted for years. Now months seem to pass in days. Story 5. Believing the future would be better than the present. You eventually reach a point in your life where you can see the rest of its trajectory, and there just isn't much left to hope for. Story 6. I miss being able to watch movies and feel completely swept away by the story without my mind analyzing everything and seeing them as the sum of a bunch of departments and moving parts. I went into the entertainment industry when I was still a teenager. I'm 46 now, and I didn't realize how completely it would alter my experience of movies. I always want to steer younger people away from consuming too much online analysis of movies unless they're actually heading toward a career in the industry. If you're not going into filmmaking, just enjoy the stories for yourself and don't look behind the curtain. The older I get, the more I treasure all the movies I saw before I started my career, because those films still allow me to remember the feeling of being transported. Story 7. I miss being close with my brothers. I miss going on family hiking trips or trips to Carowinds every weekend. I miss constantly playing outside. The energy, the freedom, the innocence. Story 8. I'm 42. I'm fortunately fine. I don't have the everything hurts that many seem to have, and my health is generally better than most young people. Not much really. It was neat in my 20s to be able to work out and get near-instant results. Time moves oddly. Time is now a more scarce resource than money. Story 9. The magic of a crisp fall day, and it's still nice enough to play outside during recess. You hear the crunch of leaves as you're running through the trees. Smells good, the light is soft. The world vibrates orange and energy, but it's calm and happy. Story 10. I miss possibility. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife and kids, and I'm generally content in life. But in my youth, every night had a tinge of electricity in the air. What could happen? Who would we meet? What unexpected adventures would we go on? But when older, most things are pretty well established for most people. When you go to parties and meet new people, most are genuinely not looking to make new friends. Most are not looking for romantic possibilities. Things become stagnant, and that electric spark of possibility is gone. Story 11. I had my life goals to move forward to since age 7 when I decided to become a paleontologist. And it took me through 4 colleges and degrees, and I got that PhD I said I would, not only without help but even having been foolish enough to lend my narcissistic mother $5,000 that I almost never got back. After 4 college programs, I graduated with my PhD at age 30. But by then, I realized that museums didn't hire collections managers or paleontologists anymore and had not for some time. They told Generation X to work hard for your goals, and you will reach them. Well, I think that 4 degrees and hundreds of thousands of dollars of successful grant writing is more than enough work. But careers don't even exist anymore. Pandemic be damned. I did the ever-supposed pivot into data analytics in 2019, and every last little job was temporary. I don't have anything to look or work forward to. I lost a core piece of my identity. And it turns out in hindsight that all the work I did towards my career ended up being the only bit of that career I ever got to have. I look ahead, and all I see is a brick wall. When I was young, I didn't know all the details of what I saw, but back then it was an open space. Story 12. All the days off I used to get. 2 months off for summer, 2 weeks off for Christmas, 2 weeks off for Thanksgiving, 1 week off for Easter, 1 week off for March break. In addition to those, I also had snow days, The days the school buses were canceled, and personal activity days, once or twice a month, the students would have a random Friday off for absolutely no reason. There were also other random statutory holidays like Family Day. Now, as a working adult, I get 3 paid sick days per year, 3 paid personal leave days per year, and 2 weeks vacation per year. Plus, the average federal holidays, 2 days for Christmas, 1 day for Thanksgiving, 1 day for New Year's, 1 day for Easter. Story 13. My football matches on the school team, my speed that made me think I could compete with Sonic, my group of friends that I was with without any benefit. Story 14. I am 46 and hung out last night with a friend who is 28. I miss her energy. She was so fun. I was her at that age, but I just cannot do it anymore. Story 15. Not having mental health issues, I could get out of bed with a sense of wonder and actually do things with my life. I was excited to go to school and learn about what was possible. I was curious about how I could impact the world and what I could do to help the people in it. Now I'm on medications, have chronic pain from surgeries and conditions I have, experience nightmares and sleep paralysis, migraines, and post-traumatic stress disorder from trauma. I resist self-harm every day to not mentally lose control almost to day 500. I tried to kill myself at various points in my life and can't find a job for the life of me. I graduated college last summer, but more than 300 job applications later, I still don't have one. The life of an adult is not as dreamy as it was prophesied when I was a child. And I wish I could go back to being a kid again, just for a day, to feel that inner spirit I once had. I don't even remember the last time I was truly happy. Years ago it must have been. Story 16. The hope, potential, and excitement that things were going to get better. Everything would work out fine because I had plenty of time to figure it out. That is mostly gone now, and it's like so many doors are closed, and the ones left are bare minimum survival. Story 17. The adventures. When you are young and out with your friends and just in the moment, anything can happen. Anything is possible. I had so many adventures. Now I could do the same things, but it feels different with the weight of responsibilities, caretaking, motherhood, and just adulting. That feeling of youth and that anything is possible. Nothing is better than that. Story 18. Friends being available most of the time, meeting regularly and spontaneously. Now they are all married with 2.4 children and a dog, and they very rarely make it out. Story 19. The feeling that anything was possible and that the world was your oyster. Over time, you just start making compromises that lead to you giving up little things that you want, and then after some time, you realize how things just don't become possible or feasible anymore. Story 20. When I was a kid, I didn't care who was or wasn't president. I just wanted to go ride my bike with my friends and go to the beach. The summer vacation seemed to last so long then. Story 21. A first love. Butterflies when I saw a really cute guy. Then we would talk all night on the phone until we fell asleep listening to each other snore because we didn't want to hang up. Most of all, living in the moment. Life was so carefree. Story 22. Walking off pain. I stopped skating in high school because I started getting serious about music and did not want to risk breaking an arm or something before a gig. Then, when I turned 39, I tried picking it back up again with the goal of learning to do a 360 flip before my 40th birthday. That lasted about 2 months. It was just too painful as an adult. Falls that I would walk off in seconds when I was 15 would disrupt my life for days at a time. The final straw was mildly twisting my knee and having to wear a brace for a month. Story 23. Being ignorant and not having to worry about paying bills and adulting. Oh, and just waking up sexy without having to go to a gym. Slow metabolism is my new enemy. Story 24. Things I like about being older. Better off financially. Ego death is a thing and it's freeing. Things I miss? Everything else. Everything? Yes. Does it bother me? Not that much. Why? See my second point. Story 25. How it's easier to make friends because, like school, you see everyone. As you age, it is harder and you turn to social media more, which is even stranger. You also do not have that direct presence like before. Story 26. I miss my energy and ability to just do things when I want to. I developed extremely bad executive dysfunction in college, And now even doing things I want to do for fun take a lot of effort to just get started. Story 27. Being able to sleep. I used to be able to sleep anywhere. Now I can't fall asleep or stay asleep unless all conditions are perfect, and even then, it's questionable. Story 28. Weirdly enough, I miss my job. I was a martial arts instructor as a teenager. Having that job gave my life a sense of purpose and value. My body broke at 18 after a car accident. You would think I would miss my body the most, but it is more that I miss feeling useful and the fulfillment that came with pushing myself forward while lifting the people around me up and encouraging their growth. Story 29. I miss the ignorance of innocence. I grew up on a dead-end dirt road surrounded by woods and wetlands. It wasn't until I joined the military that I learned just how screwed up people can be, and for some, there is no limit to what they will do to their fellow man. Story 30. Spontaneously living life where every day was different. Novel experiences. Now it feels like I've tried and seen everything there reasonably is, and life just feels routine. Every week is the same, except the weather changes and the coming and going of various aches and pains. Missing old friends is difficult as well. Story 31. Having options. I'm at a point where my career path is set. Having kids is bleak. Moving countries is out. Physical hobbies are more for fitness than competition. I'm okay with my life decisions. I just think about this sometimes. Story 32. I'm in my 40s and have been having financial struggles for the past 10 or so years. Almost got it on track, then COVID hit and derailed that. I missed the financial stability I had, ironically enough. Story 33. I am 52 now, and I have mostly lived a pretty good life. That said, I have regrets about the way I behaved towards someone I once cared very deeply about. 3 decades on, and I still feel guilty about things I said and did. So my answer would be that you haven't had any time to do things you will regret for the rest of your life. The best advice I can offer young people is to learn to hold your tongue and actions in moments of anger with people you love. Story 34. Friends. They always came so easily, and I never had to go out of my way to make them. It was easier in school. Now I actually have to try. Also, running around neighborhoods and knocking on doors, ringing doorbells and running away, climbing trees, exploring cool areas, trick-or-treating. I can still do those, obviously, but it will never feel the same. Story 35. I am 50 years old, female. I miss being ignorant of grief and having the firm belief that everything will be okay. For some people, things will never be okay, and they did absolutely nothing to deserve that lot in life. Terrible things happen to very, very good people. Story 36. I miss the feeling of basically being invincible. To eat or drink whatever I want without repercussions. To do more dangerous things without worrying much about injury. Story 37. Having a small window when my family was normal. I lost my mom and both sets of grandparents within 5 years when I was 14, which made me spiral into a wild teenage stage, and our family was basically over. But I remember when we would have holidays and my parents were normal. Story 38. I didn't feel the need to be so responsible. I have lots of people who rely on me solely for their existence. Also, as I've gotten older, I've lost a lot of my reckless confidence. I think perhaps too many brushes with death. But I have some stories and scars that I can share with those I know in real life. Story 39. My metabolism laugh out loud. People said it would catch up with me. I'm lucky because curves and big butts are in right now, but they're due to go out of fashion soon. I'm sure of it. Story 40. I miss living with other hot 20-something-year-olds, skinny dipping in our pool together, being able to liberate the thong, twerk pool parties with some of their hot friends, serving drinks, and enjoying the benefits of cheap living. Story 41. How nice people were to me. Being a nice kid or teenager is something people would see and actively comment on. It made me feel noticed. Being a nice adult, no one cares. The world just passes by, and you just feel kind of invisible. Story 42. Could sleep in the most uncomfortable position imaginable and wake up without any problems. Now, just turning a few degrees more during sleep, and I will have neck or back pain for the whole day. Story 43. falling or tripping and being able to get back up and essentially having so much fun that it did not really bother you. If I tripped or fell the way I used to when I was 7 to 9, I would probably have broken a hip by now. Story 44. In my teens, having a safe home to go to with my own room and things, and people who looked out and cared for me. Writing this out has made me realize I have all of this now except the people who care and watch out for me. In my 20s, the intoxicating feeling that anything is possible and I could achieve whatever I wanted if I just focused my efforts. I haven't done poorly by any metric, but I never really did focus my efforts, and doors and possibilities have continued to close as time flies by. Now I obsess over the doors that remain unlocked or slightly open to me, but continue to resist choosing which to pursue. Choosing is hell for me. And yes, I know not choosing is also choosing, but this knowledge does not seem to help. Story 45. My friends and how easy it was to make and maintain friendships. As an adult, everyone is just trying to get by and survive. No one has time for one another anymore without sacrificing somewhere else. It's sad. Story 46. All the people that were once a big part of my life are now completely gone and barely thought of. My childhood best friend is gone, my first girlfriend is gone, family members are gone. It's a part of life, but if I dwell on it, I spiral. I just don't think about all the people that used to make up my life. Story 47. The fun and friends. One is now dead, another I have not seen in 10 years, 2 others in even longer, and the one who is left I'm growing apart from. I will never forget the long nights at the bar, breakfast after. The camaraderie with no phones or screens to distract us. Summer nights in the neighborhood, or even on the fire escapes with beers. Also nights out at Coney Island in the summer. Rowdy and slightly dangerous.